question, Chair, you are insisting to elicit an answer for who authorized such distribution, because information reaching the desk of this committee, Chair, is that these products were, delivered at 14 hours. The following morning at 8 hours, they were destined for disbursement across the country for consumption. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. I'm sorry, I said my battery is running. But you see, the procurement director is there. And one thing that is technical here is what we call materials safety data sheet. Materials safety data sheet, or manufacturer's quality certificate. The question is, let them come out very clear. We about who authorized the distribution. Now with me, I'm going to who received. Who received. If I wanted to find out if the consignment was delivered along with safety data sheet or manufacturer's quality certificate. And if not so, why did we even allow products to even be received in the first place? Can they come out clean on that? Let them clearly state those issues.
Honorable Kasonso, you would want to? Yes, if you can.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want MSL, medical stores, to also to be clear. When you received the report from ZAPS, why haven't you informed the ministry or the PS Ministry of Health about the report which came from ZAPS? Because she's saying she has no information from Zamra or ZAPS. Why haven't you informed your ministry about it?
Yes, medical stores limited. You can also address that issue raised by Honorable Simbao to whether you have started getting feedback. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and the honorable members for the submissions on this. Indeed, I want to confirm that we do have a very specific pharmacovigilance system which looks at the use from the patients or from the hospitals. And this is a well-documented process. And with regard to this specific consignment, and I think there were very specific submissions that were made. And the authority for this feedback mechanism is Zamra. Chair, in terms of our processes, as an institution, we have a very well-defined quality assurance system, which is also underpinned by very specific SOPs in terms of what we need to do. Chair, I did allude to the context of our submission on the latex products to Zambia Bureau of Standards, and I did also allude to the fact that the only institution that tests latex products is only ZAPS. It's not only for a honeybee who would do this for any supply that is coming to MSL, and the ZAPS would be able to even testify to that. Indeed, there have been from specific suppliers when products have failed, and for us always the journey is to make sure that we are able to communicate with the Zamra in the most expeditious manner. So in terms of the specific SOP, our SOP at MSL, our quality control laboratory, is not the law. The law is Zamra. So once we have a very specific finding, this is an outsourced service from ZAPS. Our SOP says once you get the results, you communicate to Zamra. And our processes are so well documented. And I think from the discrepancies that were indicated on our goods acceptance certificate, there was a very specific statement that was read that please take note that for the examination gloves, the condoms, we have submitted the samples to Zambia Bureau of Standards. And indeed, when the results came, we have documented process and very time sensitive in terms of how we also communicate to Zamra. So more than just the processes is the conscience that we have. If anything goes wrong about a condom, the consequences, we know the consequences are very difficult. Yeah, so in terms of our very specific processes as an institution, and it's very, very important that as an institution, as big as an institution, we work through a quality management system and underpinned by SOPs. And for us, Zamra is the only institution that can effect a product recall. So this is about respecting the way the system has been built.
Chair, you have not answered my question. You deal with the Ministry of Health, don't you? Why didn't you inform the Ministry of Health about the results from SABS? That's my question.
Chair, I did indicate we have our SOP, and according to our processes, immediately we get the results from ZAPS, we're supposed to immediately communicate to Zamra, because Zamra is the law. Zamra is the one that is going to make a decision.
Okay. Who authorized the distribution? Yes, MSL.
Chair, I did indicate that the distribution occurred within a context, and the distribution started within a specific activity because
who authorized the distribution? That is I think it is a very simple question. I'm sure you were contacted as the head of this institution that please start distributing. Who is that?
No semantics.
Honorable Kasonso, please, if you want to speak through the microphone. Order. Yes, MSL.
Sorry, Chair, thank you so much. I would say that we received information through the office of the PS that we should do, that they will be flagging off the following day by the Honorable Minister of the Distribution. I submit.
So, PS, could you please confirm of what the MSL has just stated, whether that authorization came from your office or not?
Honorable Chairperson, I do not recall. We have 2 permanent secretaries' offices, and that information did not come from my office.
Okay. Yeah, you can see the confusion. Yeah, I just have one issue on the issue of the power of attorney. I think this issue has not been conclusively dealt with. The director, Honeybee, Do you understand what a power of attorney is? Do you understand what a power of attorney is?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Yes, I do understand what's the power of attorney.
Could you just shed light on what a power of attorney is?
The power of attorney is basically an authority given to a person to act on behalf of an entity or a business name.
Who issues that power of attorney? In this case, we are talking about the query that is saying that the lawyers did not provide the power of attorney. Yes?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. If I recall correctly, there was 6 to 8 copies that were made for the bid document. And on the copies, because there is an original copy, and then there is copies made from that. So when I recall, the original copy had a seal from the lawyer that we engaged. And that seal may not have been captured on the copies that were also presented. I submit.
Yeah. Who signed that power of attorney? Is it the lawyers, or is it an employee of your company? Who signed?
There is actually 2 signatures on the document. One is representative of the entity giving the power of attorney to myself. And so the other signature was by myself.
There are 2 signatures.
Yes.
One from where?
One was from the representative of the company, and one was signed by myself.
And to you, that is the power of attorney.
And then there was a seal from the lawyer.
That is a power of attorney to you.
The contents in the documents.
No, in this case, let us be specific. We are dealing with your matter.
Yes.
Is that the power of attorney to you?
2 signatures will not constitute a power of attorney in my understanding, but the contents of a document giving authority to one person from an entity is what I believe constitutes a power of attorney.
Okay. Yes, AG, if you can just clear this issue.
Thank you, Chair. The problem with this power of attorney, which is submitted by Honeybee, is that Honeybee are appointing the person to have the power of attorney, and the same person they are mentioning to have the power of attorney is the same person who's signing this same document. So basically appointing yourself to have the power of attorney. Thank you.
Have you understood?
And the bid said it should be a lawyer, but in this case,
the bid, yes, the bid is very clear. It talks about the lawyer providing the power of attorney. But we are seeing that you are giving authority to yourself. Yes?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. The correct position is not giving authority to myself. This authority was given to myself by the representative of Honeybee Pharmacy.
The representative of Honeybee?
Yes.
The company?
Yes.
Okay. But the deed document is talking about a lawyer providing.
The lawyer put a seal on that to validate the power of attorney. That is my understanding.
Oh, okay. AG, is that the correct thing to do? Is that the procedure?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe just to again provide the clarity, I can briefly just take some sentence on this same power of attorney. This, if I may read, Honeybee Pharmacy, a limited company incorporated in the Republic of Zambia, address being number 19253 Chongwe Road, Kamwala, Lusaka, do hereby nominate, ordain, and appoint Zakia H. Motala, order of national registration, to be our lawful attorney, to bid, obtain, rate, sign, and execute contracts. Now, this same is being delivered and signed by Zakia H. Motala. This is the same person who's giving authority, who's giving the attorney, and is the one who's also signing, giving himself. And he signs and the accountant signs. Then the seal comes from the lawyer. And in this case, the lawyer, if you look critically at the seal, it's Makebi Zulu. But again, there is another letter where they are saying a legal representative of Honeybee, we wish to confirm that the said company, this is Tandiwe legal practitioners who are saying as legal representative of Honeybee Farmers, we wish to confirm. So this is where now the whole thing is gray. Which one is which? Motala gives himself as the powers of attorney, delivers and signs the letter. Then again, in the same breath, another company saying they are the representatives of farmers, also Honeybee. Also, they are coming up with the letter confirming that they are the legal representatives. Then the seal again is coming from another law firm.
Yeah, we want bullet point answers. I think we have been sitting for a long time. This is going to 15 hours. Bullet answers from yourself, the director.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. This issue is actually at ACC. We have been asked the same question by the ACC also, and we have given a position to ACC. And we take great exception that our integrity and credibility is questioned. Honeybee Pharmacy is the entity that gave me the power of attorney to sign or to act on behalf of this entity. I did not give myself this power of attorney. This was granted to me by Honeybee Pharmacy. I submit.
Yes, you said there were 2 signatures.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Of 2 different people?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay.
One signature is from the representative of Honeybee Pharmacy, and the other signature was by myself.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We have that on record. I think that we'll go through. Yeah. Now, there is an issue of photocopying, that the CEO will not be seen on the photocopy. There are some people who feel that that may not be correct, that a CEO will be photocopied and be seen on a photocopied paper. Do you agree with that?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. The seal it's actually a watermark. So it's a watermark on the original document. So when you are copying or you are photocopying that, it is highly unlikely that it will capture the contents of the seal, of the watermark. I submit.
Okay. Honorable members? Yes, Honorable Simbao.
Chair, that issue of photocopying, that can be done even from here. I remember my university results, the seal. I copied it and I could see it. So I don't know this particular one. So that can be done. We have photocopiers here. We can get the original and try it.
You see, the problem is photocopying machines are different, and I don't think it would be the right thing to do because we have no way of proving.
Yeah, I think the Auditor General will deal with the verification, and in that verification, we are directing that all those issues be taken into consideration, and when the report is, come to us, we shall deal with that matter accordingly. So, having said that, are there any other issues? Honorable members from the virtual platform? Honorable Mbulakulima?
Yes, outside this, you will forgive me, Chairperson, I think you know that I asked this question with regard to charge letters because I've got a human resource background. I've seen the outbreak of charge letters. The latest, we don't know how we can charge one person with 4 letters. They still survive. The latest concerns the title deed. Now, I observe that some of these buildings, if not all of these buildings, were done a long time ago. While some of these provincial medical officers could be 1 year or 2 years old in their position. Title deeds are not obtained within 1 or 2 weeks, not even in 6 months. I think the controlling officer has got a good reason why he's charging these people. I just wanted to learn. Let me just isolate Kakulubelwa, friends, where there are more than 5, 6 structures, and the medical officer has been charged. I wanted her to take us through. When did this start? How was this person helped? How has he failed to reach this level where now management believes it is the inefficiency of this person? Because I've seen Dollar Central Hospital and these have been in existence for a long time, or Mansa General Hospital. So when did you start? Where have they failed for them to receive these charge letters? Or is it just camouflage? Letter that you write because you're coming to appear before public accounts? How genuine are they? Tell us just on the title deeds how they have failed and what effort you as the CEO have provided to them. I thank you, Chairperson.
Yeah, that is the last intervention. PS?
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. This is a matter that we are also following up on behalf of our institutions. We have written a general letter to Ministry of Lands, and we are following up the issue of title deeds. But generally, the custodian of assets in the provinces under the Ministry of Health lies with the respective provincial health directors. That's why they were responsible for taking into account what assets, what buildings fall under their various jurisdictions. I submit.
Chair, as you close, are you in a position to allow me under 1 minute a question? The last one, sir.
No, I said the last one is from Honorable Mbolakulima. I can see also Honorable Lumai raising his hand. Maybe we can start with you, Honorable Mwetwa, so that we give chance. Then go to Honorable Lumai.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your discretion to have allowed me this question. Mr. Chairman, I would like to find out whether or not the controlling officer insists and holds on to be her position that she does not know who authorized the distribution of these products, given that at a ceremony which was graced by the Honorable Minister of Health, where he was waving a Zambian flag to flag off distribution receipt of these products from Honeybee, in which he stated that the ministry had received 2,376 health kits. She actually was present together with the other PS then, Dr. Malama. And she also intimated to the fact that now manufacture and distribution of pharmaceutical products would be quickened, given that in the past it would take about 7 months to package and distribute. That is a function where she was present, and she's on record, it's in public domain. I just wanted to find out if she still insists, Chair, that she's unaware as to where the authority came from for medical stores to go ahead to distribute these products. I thank you for discretion, Chairperson.
Yes, Honorable Lumai. Please take note.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I want to find out now from the controlling officer. Controlling officer, from this report compared to last year, we have not seen chair issues regarding Lusaka apart from the issue we are dealing with. So I want to find out from you two things. What are you going to do with your provincial officers so that the issues which have come out from the provincial officers do not appear in the next year's audit, to do with insurance, to do with other issues? And secondly, PS, the committee has noted miscommunication between Zamra, your ministry, what we call MSL. So we want to find out from you now going forward, what are you going to put in place to ensure that come next audit, there must be a smooth communication between Zamra, ZABS, the ministry, and MCL, because these issues, they have come as a result of miscommunication from Zamra, MCL, the ministry. So I want you to tell this committee, what steps are you going to put in place going forward as a Ministry of Health? Chairperson, from those two, I submit.
Yeah, MSL. Yes. Honorable, you also want to add? Please go ahead, but the last one.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for allowing me to ask the last three questions.
Or maybe we can wait for them to answer to those, then we can come back to you so that we don't overload them. Yes, PS, if you can address those issues.
Thank you. I'll start with the question that was posed by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Choma. Honorable Chairperson, I think the question that was on the table was that of who authorized. And I did clearly state that my office was not aware of who authorized. Attending a ceremony does not mean that one is aware. This is a ceremony that was organized and coordinated by Medical Stores Limited. So I still stand by my earlier statement. With regards to the question that
PS, now you will be opening the Pandora's box. How can you state that attending a function does not mean that you know about the authority when you are the authority yourself? As permanent secretary, controlling officer, you are supposed to be the one in charge of these things.
Yes.
So, how can you say that? Yes,
Chairperson, I did state that the Ministry of Health has 2 permanent secretaries, one in charge of administration, one in charge of technical services.
So in this case, whatever happened was not supposed to come from your office. Is that the statement that you are standing on?
That's what I'm standing on, yes.
Okay, you can continue.
Thank you. I proceed. The next question is what we are doing with regards to the audit queries in order to ensure that provincial health officers or provincial health directors do not make a repeat. One of the reasons why we asked all the provincial health directors to connect to this committee meeting is that they realize the various omissions that have been cited in the Auditor General's report, and they receive the feedback from this committee with regards to what the expectations are in regards to audit. We have also included some of the issues that arose, such as the issue of title deeds in the performance contracts for the various provincial health directors. So at the end of the day, the various provincial health directors shall be assessed accordingly. With regards to communication between ZABS, MSL, and Zamra, I'm sure the 3 institutions have taken note of the observations of the committee, and I'm sure the 3 institutions have taken note.
Under the Ministry of Health.
Yes, as well as the Ministry of Health, and as a ministry, we shall look into the issue of improving communication amongst the various institutions. I submit.
Yes, Honorable Mukosa.
Thank you.
The last 3. You can go ahead.
Well, although there are 3, but they concern one issue. PS, it's on the issue of the irregular payment of salaries to an absentee officer, the one who is now a chief. I want to find out, how was the absence of an officer or this officer not discovered from 2014 to 2020 within your ministry? How did you fail to pick that? Or how did the internal auditors fail to pick that we have an officer who has not been working but has been getting paid and has accumulated payments that he was receiving, which he was not supposed to be receiving, to the tune of about 1.9 million kwacha? That's one question. Then I want to find out the measures that you're putting in place to avoid that the failure to identify such anomalies do not reoccur. Then the third one is, in your submission, the one that you read yesterday, you stated that the ministry is considering to recover from the gratuity and I think terminal benefits. Have you taken time to check how much the officer has accrued as gratuity and also terminal benefits, so far, so that we are just safe to know if what has been accumulated so far will be adequate to cover the money that he has gotten as illegal salary, which is supposed to pay back, because 1.9 million is not a small amount of money. Some people can work for 10, 20 years without reaching that amount in terms of gratuity. Thank you so much, Chair. Those are my last 3 questions.
One time. Yes, PS, can you address those issues so that we can now close the meeting?
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The issues regarding why the officer was not removed from payroll were tabulated yesterday. We did state that this is an officer that was serving under Senanga, and there was miscommunication between Senanga and Solwezi. It's unfortunate that from 2014, which is 6 years ago, this matter was not picked up. And this is a matter that, yes, has been calculated in terms of what his terminal benefits are supposed to be. And we did state yesterday that the amount falls short of what he has been paid. And yesterday we did state that we had already communicated with the Ministry of Chiefs so that they assist us on this matter.
In terms of going forward, what measures have you put in place for the ministry not to continue waiting for the Auditor General to come and identify these anomalies for you to act? PS.
Honorable Chairperson, we are strengthening our Department of Internal Audit. Last year, Control of Internal Audit did give us a Director of Internal Audit who has supported in terms of forming the Directorate, and the Directorate is carrying out regular audits of within, internally, as well as in our various institutions. I submit.
Honorable members, I think we have sat for a long time dealing with this matter. I just have one last issue. There's been reports in the media pointing to the fact that Honeybee director has stated that the Auditor General's report was biased. Can the director confirm whether the report was biased or not? That is my last issue. Director.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. With regards to what appears in the newspapers, in the media, it is very difficult because we have been vilified in the press for a very long time.
My question is, can you confirm
the confirmation of what, Honorable Chair?
Of the same that I've asked, whether the Auditor General's report was biased or not, because there are reports, there have been reports that attributed to Honeybee that they were saying that the report was biased. Would you confirm?
No, I don't confirm.
Okay. Honorable members, our permanent witnesses, the media, the witness, the Ministry of Health, I think that we have been sitting for a long time from yesterday, dealing with different issues. that affect this country in as far as what the Auditor General's report brought out as irregularities in your ministry. I think that there are a number of issues, and I've picked just a few to try and talk about as we close this meeting. I think you agree with me and the committee that the ministry is a very important ministry to this country. And therefore, all of us look up to you as technocrats to provide a service to the Zambian people. And that service should not have even a dot of a black patch, because it deals with the lives, the health of individuals, the health of everyone seated here and out there, our people, those people who have given us an opportunity to run their affairs. And therefore, it is expected of us as people who have been given that rare opportunity to be proactive in terms of dealing with issues that affect them, rather than being reactive. We have seen that most of these, if not all of them, have just been reactive to the issues that have been raised by the Auditor General. I have not come across issues that have been, or that were dealt with before the Auditor General came. And I'll refer to these bulky documents that we received. There are 4 volumes of these documents, supporting attachments from issues that have been raised by the Auditor General. These documents are not for us. They are for the auditors. When they come to audit, they are the ones who are supposed to be given this. And I can assure you that once you give documents to the auditors, no query would be put in the Auditor General's report. But it is as a result of not putting emphasis and seriousness that documents are supposed to be kept in places where they're supposed to be accessed. But we have seen answers in this submission that you have given us, where you are saying the document was misplaced. How can that be, when we know very well that doctors keep documents for patients for years? But this ministry that is mostly run by doctors, we are seeing these irregularities as a result of poor record keeping. I think that PS, it is unacceptable, of the highest order, for us to be seated here to come and be told that a document was misplaced. We, I think, expect nothing but a perfect system from your ministry, from yourselves. Last year, we talked about the same issue of record keeping, which we are talking about even this year. I think that we need to change, and we need to change for the best, for better, so that our service, the service that we are rendering to our people, can be appreciated. We have seen that if it is not poor supervision, inadequate supervision, those charges that you are giving to these officers, if it is not that, then there is nothing. So, looking at your submission, yourself, you have identified that there is always, poor, inadequate supervision by all your officers. We expect that going forward, immediately, you need to put in, need to see examples. I'm not referring to anyone. I think my passion, and indeed the passion of this committee, is to see to it that the right thing is done for the benefit of our people, the benefit of this country. So, contract management. I think that we can't overemphasize the fact that we have been sitting here dealing with issues to do with contract management, and that you have been tasked to perfect the issues to do with procurement, issues to do with finance, issues to do with distribution. I think everything else will fall in the issue of contract management. It's all interrelated. ZABS, Zamra. I think that all of us should work in a chain where if the next person is claiming that they don't know, the third person will be able to remind that next person that, hey, if me, the third person, knows, you should know. I think that it is unacceptable for us to be talking about who knows what, who authorized, who did. I think that it is unacceptable. P.S. We need to see a situation where when we come to appear before these committees of parliament, and not just the Public Accounts Committee, we come with facts, we come with information that the people of Zambia will accept, and indeed people should have patches, black patches. I think that we need to reach a level where we can say, yes, there may be a patch, but even that patch, we have done this and that to mend it. So, Having said that, for Zamra, I think we have stated a number of issues here that we cannot overemphasize. The safety of our people is dependent on the decisions that you make. And therefore, we will not, I think, be waiting to state that immediately a decision has to be made. We cannot wait forever on this very important issue. A decision has to be made. If those products have not already been finished, only yourselves will know how far the damage has reached. But I think our job is to remind you that your task is a very serious one, and that you cannot rest until this issue is resolved, and resolved positively, immediately. I think we need to have confidence and faith in our institutions, those institutions that we have put in place for ourselves to use. I think that with this COVID-19 that we have experienced in this country, and indeed the whole world, we've had to depend on ourselves. So why we should be deciding to get information that has been given already by an institution that you are supposed to have faith in? You want to go and get information from outside, when in fact the perimeters that are used to come up with decisions, come up with results are acceptable globally. I think that we need to have faith in our institutions. I have talked a lot, and I'm sure you have seen the passion with which members of this committee have exhibited in trying to ask questions and trying to get clarifications. It is a passion that is driven by the people out there, because we represent these people. It is not for an individual that maybe would want to fix this individual or that one. Ours is to establish so that when we make recommendations, they are informed. And those recommendations taken to the whole house so that decisions are made for the benefit of this country. I think that these members here and virtually present, I'm sure you have seen what they have exhibited. It is for one reason: for the betterment of this country. Go well. But we don't want to see you coming to appear before this committee to come and talk about contract management, come and talk about record keeping as if we're at school. Let us work on these things so that we have a perfect system. Thank you very much. As usual, as you leave this room, the immunity that was bestowed on you will be lifted. So whatever you say out there is up to you, knowing that you are not protected out there. So you are on your own, but we remain with our immunity. Thank you very much. PS.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and I'd like to say thank you to the various committee members. I wish you a good day. Thank you.